I'm Dana Jacobson from CBS Saturday Morning. Welcome to The Dish. Today we circle the globe for a taste of international cuisine with layovers in London for Indian food and Philadelphia for Thai dishes. First, we're heading to Colombia. Not the country, the oldest restaurant in Florida, serving meals with Cuban, Spanish, Sicilian, and even a bit of German influences. Here's Jeff Glore.
What is it about Colombia that keeps people coming back?
Well, it's the story of a family that immigrated from Cuba and from Spain with a dream.
The dream began just after the turn of the last century. Cuban immigrant Casimiro Hernandez was looking to fill the bellies of workers going back and forth to cigar factories in Tampa Bay's historic Ybor City. During the Great Depression, his son built the first air-conditioned dining room in Tampa. In the 50s and 60s, when Ybor City was dying, Colombia kept it alive. Post-war, the business expanded to Sarasota to the south, and in the 1980s, St. Augustine to the east, led by Richard Gansmart, fourth generation at Colombia, and now his daughter, Andrea, fifth.
We actually live just next door to one another.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We don't get enough of each other at work, so we have to live next door to each other.
She'll come over at 5 in the morning, we'll start talking, and we'll go on a walk, and at nighttime, we'll go back and forth.
Andrea Gansmart started working at Colombia at age 10. Richard says he's been thinking about running a restaurant since he was 3.5. He still does, from the moment he wakes up, not too long after the crack of midnight.
I love that moment, from 1:30 or 3 in the morning.
1:30.
1:30 in the morning, yeah. It's a good time to wake up.
And that's when you're looking at the industry, planning out.
And reading what's happening in the world and the industry and understand to predict what's going to take place. Be prepared for the
And you never get
challenges.
tired of that.
God, that's what I live for.
He eats, sleeps, and breathes the restaurant business.
That's all I know.
Richard refers to himself not as president or CEO of Colombia, but caretaker. He's also added a Sicilian restaurant in Ybor City and now operates a total of 14 restaurants under 6 brands.
He's still pushing and opening new restaurants.
He's an animal. He claims he's trying to pass the baton, but he's running too fast for me.
Did you tell him to calm down, or do you just let him go?
I ride the wave. I love it. I'm always right behind him on all of his crazy ideas.
There's a lot to get done.
Among Colombia's staples, a Cuban sandwich that they proudly proclaim predates anything served in the nation's most populous Cuban locale, Miami.
The most important part of beginning a Cuban sandwich is starting with great Cuban bread.
It is served to Richard's exacting instructions.
My father says it's important that you go in this exact order.
Okay.
Otherwise, when it hits your palate, it's not going to taste the same. So we're going to start with the ham.
Okay.
And each of these layers symbolize the people who came to Ybor City in the turn of the century. So this represents the Spaniards that came. Obviously, the Cuban bread represents the Cubans.
Yes. Okay.
But our next layer is also going to represent the Cubans. It's the mojo marinated roast pork.
There's a ritual to it, right? I mean, it's
almost therapeutic.
yeah.
We use only the salami imported from Italy that's got the peppercorns in it. And this represents the Sicilians who came to Ybor City. And now we're going on to the Swiss cheese, which I always say this almost represents Ybor City because it was truly the melting pot of all of these different cultures coming together. So when you put it on the press, or if you don't put it on the press, it tops it all and marries them all together.
It's hard to find a more inclusive dish.
Yeah, right?
The Colombia Cuban is topped off with a single thin layer of mustard, a nod to Germany, and always exactly 2 pickles. Follow the simple recipe and you get something exceptional. Or you just mess it up from the start.
Did I do it? Oh, shoot. Hold on.
Now you've got an upside down Cuban.
I do! It's a special sort of Cuban. Like
It is.
my...
It's an upside down Cuban.
The Cuban sandwich preparation was just a prelude to the wider spread.
each one of these dishes, you could write a book on the history behind it.
Almost, yes.
Our table included Colombia's legendary 1905, a julienne-style salad, always prepared tableside. Pompano and papayote, seafood baked in a parchment crust, pollo manchego, crab croquettes, and in the middle of it all,
The completa cubana, the complete Cuban, it tells you a taste of what I remember Cuba, the roast pork, marinated in the mojo, the boliche, which is the ayran with the chorizo and gravy, the empanada picadillo, fried plantains, yuca, which is a root with the garlic, and the black beans and rice with the onions. The black beans are the way we did, totally vegetarian. The paella valenciana, our rice comes from Murcia, from the south. It's the way I would have had it when I visit Spain.
for desserts, flan, along with an irresistible white chocolate bread pudding. Just some of the food and family that have kept people coming back for more than 117 years.
These are some of the best temperatures I've had in a long, long time.
What do you think your dad would think of how you've taken care of the restaurant and what you've turned it into?
My father had a lot of dreams. And I have a picture of him when he was a little boy. He was a violinist, and he didn't get to do many of the things he wanted to. I fulfilled every dream he ever had. And so I feel my dad would be very proud.
After the break, we visit Indian royalty running a groundbreaking kitchen in the UK. This is The Dish. Now we head across the pond to visit an award-winning London restaurant serving authentic Indian cuisine. Imtiaz Tayyab sat down with one of Britain's most prominent female figures in food and dining, who adds spice to everything she does.
So when I get from the lift, I just give it to you?
Asma Khan knows how to command a kitchen.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect.
But it's not the life the chef and social justice activist saw for herself growing up in Calcutta as the second daughter born into an Indian royal family. This princess, yes, princess, can not only handle the heat.
Okay, 2 doubles first, okay? Okay, Asha, give me 1 Mughlai, 1 Halim.
She also leads a team of cooks unlike anywhere else. All women of color,
Okay,
and most, like her, are second daughters.
I'm a second daughter. And, you know,
what does that mean in your culture?
Disaster. Because you're not the boy everybody wanted.
Tell us about your kitchen.
So it's an all-female kitchen, which is very unusual. You will never find a restaurant anywhere in the world cooking, you know, South Asian food with an all-female kitchen. I would never have even sat down on a table and with these women in India, because of the class, caste, religious differences between people. But today they are like my own family. And for them, this is liberation. It set them free.
For Khan, learning how to cook the food she grew up eating as a child in eastern India also set her free. After getting married in 1991 and moving to England, she, in her own words, didn't even know how to boil an egg and ached for the flavors of home.
We don't realize how it is part of who we are, the air we breathe, part of, you know, our soul. I really understood this when I had an arranged marriage. I moved to Cambridge and I was living with a stranger who I was trying to make friends with. And then, you know, the ache of not eating your own food was overwhelming.
After studying for a PhD in British constitutional law, Khan returned to India to learn how to recreate the tastes of her childhood. Back in Britain, her love of the complex cuisine blossomed into a new life. First hosting supper parties for strangers at her home, then opening a restaurant, the Darjeeling Express, publishing a renowned cookbook, and now a major expansion, moving her wildly popular eatery to London's historic Covent Garden.
But you have to start tasting stuff, because I know that I've been speaking to you without. So you can choose whatever you want to start off with.
All right. Well, I want to start with what's in front of me here.
Okay.
This is
the Panch Foran. Try a bit, and it's very Bengali.
okay.
And
what gives it its red hue?
It's tomato.
It's really the sourness that comes through.
Yes. Yeah.
Followed by the heat.
Yeah. and this is how you have to spice. You spice in layers.
Curry is Britain's most popular food. But the often creamy dishes served with thick breads in restaurants around the country are a far cry from the authentic Indian dining experience Khan wants her customers to enjoy. Like this beetroot raita, an electric-hued yogurt to soothe the palate.
Yes, bubblegum color. And what is nice about this is that it has only one spice in it, which is roasted and put in. I won't put you on the spot and ask you to identify it, but it's...
Is it Zita?
Yes. Oh, I'm impressed.
And I got the name right as well.
No, you got the name right.
And Zita in English is?
Is cumin.
Okay, I didn't even know.
Your mom did a good job raising you. So that is the biryani.
Wow.
Taste it because it's very, very gentle.
But it's the classic Calcutta biryani that Khan is most renowned for, a royal rice dish cooked in layers for several hours. Her carrot halwa is also work-intensive.
Do that.
The dessert is made with milk, sugar, and spices that require several hours of near constant stirring.
So it's just, and you can taste that.
This tastes like my childhood.
Oh.
It really, I mean, I'm having a moment here because my mother would make this.
Part of Khan's mission is for her customers to have a more complete understanding of South Asian cuisine.
I mean, I always find it very hard when people come to my restaurant and say, can I have naan? And I say, I don't even know how to make it. And they look at you and say, aren't you Indian? And I was thinking, like, most Indians would not know how to make it.
Or eat it.
Yeah.
They don't have it at home.
No, and also the other thing is, everyone thinks you have a tandoor in your house. Your house will catch fire.
The only flames Khan wants to fan
Give the chutney on the sides, huh?
are of understanding.
Asha, say yes, say yes, say yes.
And through her food, she hopes her table will bring people who might not otherwise come together.
I've had such an extraordinary time eating your food. What do you want people to feel when they eat your food?
I want them to get up from this table not hating people who look like me. Because it's about breaking bread together. You eat my food. You understand me a bit. Next time you're on the underground, you sit next to a woman, maybe her coat smells of masala. Look at her in the eye. Don't hate us. Don't label us.
You've opened this extraordinary restaurant in an extraordinary time in our life. What do you want people to experience when they walk through these doors?
I want them to feel this is a homecoming. You don't need to be South Asian, you don't need to be anything. But for all of us who have not seen family, who've been cut off, who have been so, not able to live our normal life, I want this restaurant to be your refuge. Come here, put your burden down, and eat.
The city of brotherly love is way more than cheesesteaks. In Philadelphia, we actually found one of the best Thai restaurants in the country, where they look beyond typical dishes like pad Thai for a more refined, fine dining approach. Here's our Jeff Glor.
This looks incredible.
Yeah, the look is everything.
And I mean,
that's the first impression when you see it. It builds your appetite.
Where do we start?
We start from the appetizer.
Nok Suntaranan kicked things off with what might be the most colorful dish we've ever seen, including tapioca dumplings with a mushroom, sweet radish, and peanut filling, and flower-shaped dumplings with chicken and sweet radish inside.
It's a bird dumpling.
It's a bird. It's a bird. My name is Nok, it means bird, so this is my dumpling.
It takes hours to make these completely by hand, but it's well worth it.
So fresh.
My food is built around memory of my childhood. So my grandmother, she always loved to cook the little appetizer for me when I came back from school.
Suntaranan's grandmother never shared any of those old recipes, so she relies on the memories of the tastes and smells she experienced growing up in Thailand.
So this dish is come from the old capital of Thailand in Ayutthaya, that's very close to Bangkok.
That includes this spicy and sour lemongrass soup with barramundi, mushrooms, and these jumbo river prawns.
Okay, so I break the head off?
You break the head off, then you will find the part in the head is tamales. That's like the brain or the fatty part. You can scrape it back into the bowl. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best part. I love
Look
it. I
at
love
that.
it.
I
know.
love it.
You
It's
say,
like
yeah.
squeezing out the best condiment ever.
Exactly, and they're so creamy. It's add a very good flavor and good consistency into the broth.
Some people think you eat Thai food with chopsticks. You don't.
No, we don't.
Suntaranan's take on traditional Thai dishes are a unique blend of Buddhist culture, Indian-style curries, and crucially South American chilies, originally brought to the region by Portuguese missionaries in the late 1600s. Their intensity is matched only by Suntaranan's personality.
Heat is something that Thai dishes are famous for, and you're famous for not backing off on that heat. You don't make less spicy dishes.
No, I never back off from anything, not just only food.
I like that. I like that.
For more than 20 years, Suntaranan worked as a flight attendant for Kuwait Airways, then Thai Airways.
Have you had the fresh river prawn before?
No, I don't think so. She was retired for 9 years before opening Kalaya in Philadelphia in 2019.
One thing that I think sometimes intimidates people about Thai food, especially really authentic Thai food like this, is that it's not simple. It's complicated.
You know, that's how you could look at it, but the other way that you could look at it is like, this is the way of life. This is the culture.
Well, that's one of the things I love about your cooking is that you don't, some people try to Americanize their food, and you don't. You embrace where you came from.
Because I think, you know, when I moved to America, I learned how to eat cheeseburger or mac and cheese, and I never asked to put the ground chili on my burger or mac and cheese. So maybe it's time for people to learn how to eat the right curries without asking for me to tone it down or add, you know, carrot or celery or whatever in my curries, because that's not the right thing to do.
After the river prawn soup, we moved to a duck salad with kaffir leaves and dried chilies. Then this delicious crab fried rice with scallion and egg.
What is in this? This is so good.
The eggs and pickled mustard green.
Okay.
That's very simple. That's my mother's cooking. She will cook all vegetable with eggs.
They go with everything.
It goes with everything.
Next, a colossal crab curry served in a house-made velvety curry powder sauce. Maybe our favorite.
I'm glad I'm making somebody very happy this morning.
You are. Velvety is a good word for it.
It is.
It's a great
very
texture
velvety.
to this.
Yes. What makes it different is we use Chinese celery that you just had a bite into it, and the flavor of Chinese celery cut with the curry powders.
So the first bite I had, it didn't have the Chinese celery in it.
No.
And the second one it did, and it makes all the difference.
Yes.
That was followed by steamed bronzino with a lime and a Thai chili broth. Phuket-style crab meat curry served with rice noodles, cucumber, cabbage, and long beans.
There aren't many places in America where you can get this.
Without me and my staff, no, because we're not going to be there. So only at Kalaya.
I love it.
All right, next. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So you're going to be a little bit more adventurous?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Stinky beans with toasted ground chicken curry and shrimp paste.
Ooh, stinky bean.
Yes.
That's what my wife calls me.
This is called Homesick Edition because I miss home so much. I have not been home in a year. So I created more dishes that could bring me closer to home.
And so what is the stinky bean? This is the bean? This is the stinky bean?
Yes, stinky bean is the kind of fruit that we use widely in Southern cooking. It's available in rainy season. It has very unique flavor. It's really good for your body.
We finished with coconut rice, chicken curry, and cabbage. There is one prominent Thai dish you will not find on this table, and that you will not find Suntaranan serving in her restaurant.
You don't have pad Thai on your menu.
We do on takeout, not in the dining room.
And people ask for it and you say what?
I smile. I smile a lot. Because I want my restaurant to be Thai fine dining.
Where do you hope you can take Thai food moving forward?
What I would like to take Thai food forward is the perception that Thai food or ethnic food should be inexpensive. We should move past that.
You've convinced me.
I did?
Yes.
Maybe the big giant shrimp convinced you, not me.
All of it.
Coming up, we go inside a family-run restaurant based on Afghan recipes dating back generations. We're going to take you there next on The Dish. There are several successful Afghan restaurants around our nation's capital where they use recipes passed down from generations of mothers to daughters. Jan Crawford introduces us to a family with a powerful message about food and tradition.
When Sophia Mesrour is making her famous leek and scallion dumplings, she smiles.
I just love it because it reminds me of my childhood. It's my all-time favorite dish.
A childhood that began in Afghanistan before her family fled to the United States after the Soviet invasion, when the country was a cosmopolitan celebration of cultures.
My mother, when she would make this dish, my favorite part was to do this.
Oh, really?
Yes. Sit around the dining room table and we would stuff the wrappers.
The delicate leek and scallion dumplings are just one of the classic dishes featured in Sophia and husband Omar's Washington, D.C. area Afghan restaurants, which they started as a way to share their country's sophisticated cuisine.
Every Afghan restaurant you would go to was just kebab, kebab, kebab.
Which is not the traditional.
It's not traditional.
There was so much more.
There's so much more to Afghan food.
Food influenced by the many cultures that formed Afghanistan.
Food that's going to be coming from Central Asia, from China, you have India, the Persians. So it's a mixture of everything.
This food is like Afghanistan, a combination of cultures and different ethnicities and backgrounds all coming together in like a beautiful harmony.
Which country that you can go to or which nation you could go to that you could get a rice dish that's going to have raisins in there, that's going to have carrots in there, that's going to have almonds, walnuts, meat, pistachios.
Today, Afghanistan is anything but harmonious. And seeing it return to Taliban control led the Mesrours to make a statement last fall that went well beyond food. Omar decided to step back from the operations and put the women, his wife, sister, and his two oldest daughters, in charge.
He said, listen, the only way to do a change or to make a statement is you have to, from inside, to do something. Not through words, not through anything, but through action.
What was the statement that you were trying to make them?
Women can do anything.
Oldest daughter Talia is the new manager of Bistro Arakasiya, running all the restaurant's day-to-day operations. Aman is manager in training at the McLean location.
Sometimes people ask me for the manager, and I'm like, well, I am the manager.
What does it mean to you to kind of be a part of this statement that you're making?
Oh, it makes me feel good that they think that I can manage a restaurant and run a restaurant. I want to be CEO of the restaurants and just learn how to do everything.
The critically acclaimed restaurants, the women now in charge, continue to expand locations, with plans to open a fourth restaurant in the area. They attribute their success to the customers and the recipes that span generations, from one mother to the next.
I mean, I learned this from my mother, so that's how she made it, that's how I made it, and that's how I'm teaching others to make it.
And now, passing again to the next.
What is your dream for your daughters as they grow up?
To know who they are, that's all. I just want them to know that they can do anything they want to do.
They can run a business, they can be a CEO.
Better.
Well, what's your dream for their futures?
For them to, be confident, believe in themselves, be kind human beings, It's just, also, it's not just about them, it's about everyone.
And for all those other girls needing to hear, you can do it.
For more stories like these and live coverage of breaking news 24/7, stream us right here on CBS News. I'm Dana Jacobson. We'll see you next time for another helping of The Dish.